Good evening, folks. I'm going to turn this over to Dave, who's got your weekly wake-up call.
So we're going to talk about the lesser of two evils principle. And you've heard this: voting for the lesser of two evils is still evil, blah, blah, blah. And that may be the case, but when you get an evil so evil that you can't ignore it, then you can't ignore it anymore. And this week, we're going to be talking about the clear and present danger, which is Ron DeSantis. So the lesser of two evils principle goes back to Aristotle, which basically he was saying that the lesser of two evils is better because it's not as bad. And you have to deal with the bigger elephant in the room before you deal with the smaller elephant in the room. It's a very simplistic part of it. And then it turns into the lesser of two evils is still evil, or the two parties are the same. They are not the same. Governor DeSantis is not the same as the people running against him by any stretch of the imagination. And that includes the person that he ran against in 2018, even though Andrew Gillum was being held under investigation in 2015 for different infractions, and he's being indicted. And we'll talk about it briefly, but what Ron DeSantis is doing is pure and simple fascism. And he has never been popular. He ran against a very unpopular Democratic candidate and won by less than 0.5%.
So, by the way, no one contested his victory.
No, they didn't, including Andrew Gillum. He had his own issues. One thing I want to say, the whole lesser of two evils situation. There was another quote: "To ignore evil is to become an accomplice to it." And that was said by Martin Luther King. There is an article that I found basically by the New Yorker or the Intelligencer, and it talks about how this race, the super high stakes 2022 race, no one is talking about. This is an article very recent, August 5th of this year, Gabrielle Di Benedetti. She talks about how seemingly no one really cares about the DeSantis race. It does look like Charlie Crist is going to be running against him. Charlie Crist has been governor before, and he is making the case that, hey, I've been governor before. I know how to fight a hostile assembly, and I know how to either get things done or stave off an assembly like this. So one thing you have to understand too is that, let's say Charlie Crist does get elected, nothing's going to happen right away. He has what's called the Florida state has what is called a Republican trifecta and a Republican triplex. Right now, not only do they have a Republican governor, they have a Republican Secretary of State, a Republican Attorney General, and both chambers of the state legislature. Now, there are reports that even some of the Republicans feel bullied by DeSantis. Charlie Crist did used to be a Republican, but make no mistake, he is not fighting against people's rights. And he is a Democrat. May be more moderate than you might like, but he will not oppress people. He's not going to fine people for asking people to mask in their business or be vaccinated. He's not going to do the crazy stuff that I'm going to be talking about in a longer video. or the last one, I do have to mention this. Proposing state license plate features warning to out-of-state tourist cars. And don't tread on me or the state of Florida. You don't belong here. What a tourist welcome.
It should give everybody in this country pause about spending one fucking dime in the state of Florida. They make a lot of money from tourists. You can stop this problem and you can stop his bullshit by stopping your money flow.
Right.
If you guys want to make an impression, stop the money flow. This is what has to happen. The pushback has to come not just from politicians, it has to come from the people. I would not spend one freaking penny in that state. I will never step over that state line again. Done.
Do not say that is not effective, because it was effective in 2015, 2016 with Pence in Indiana. Remember when Mike Pence was overstepping when it came to cosplay or gays in gay marriage or businesses, blah blah blah. When he was overstepping, the NCAA basketball tournament talked about pulling out of Indiana. Different huge events started talking about pulling out of Indiana. People started boycotting. That is what you do. And by the way, if you
that is
want,
the power you have.
Yes,
right now in your hands.
Also, we will again suggest donating to out-of-state candidates is one thing. DeSantis can bitch and moan and grouse all he wants. You're allowed to do that. You're also allowed to phone bank for out-of-state candidates if you like, and send postcards, which Deb is going to show you probably.
I'll show you right now. I am sending postcards to help protect Maggie Hassan's Senate seat in New Hampshire.
Right.
Okay. And then when I'm done with this, I'm going to get another state, and I'm going to do it again in another state.
Right.
This is what we need to do, folks. Yep. This is how you win the battle, because the bottom line is the extreme right is beating us in this system, and we have to fight back in this system.
And if you ignore this, you are complicit. Let's not be complicit. Let's fight this, and let's get these guys out of office. DeSantis is a clear and present danger. I'm not saying he's the only one, but he is the most dangerous in my eyes. See you guys in the long show.